Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. I am so sorry. So I actually posted this video up about an hour ago, and there was no audio. I've been having my computer shut off and on. We had a power outage. We had the freeze. It's been crazy, and my settings were messed up, and I did not notice it. So, needless to say, we are going to retake this video, and I'm going to get it up for you guys right off the bat because I don't want you guys to miss anything going on. And this is pretty important. Reason it's so important, the Supreme Court has just said, point blank, money is gold and silver. Everything else is null and void. And this is pretty exciting. I don't know how this is going to play out, because this was referring to a home that got foreclosed on, I guess, and it came up as a foreclosure trial, and the person said nope, and it caused an uproar. And so who knows how this is going to play out exactly. They've already ruled on the case, but obviously that guy wins. He is somehow going to get his house back, apparently. But on the flip side, how is this going to pertain to every other mortgage out there? How is this going to pertain to money? I actually posted this video, and then right after, I ended up texting someone who is a bank manager. She runs her own bank, and I wanted to hear her thoughts. And it was kind of crazy what she said. She said it was super interesting. She had not heard about it yet, but she said, what's going to happen? I mean, obviously, if this goes down this way, banks will stop lending. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. With that being said, let's jump in and let's talk about this. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button. Help me out. I'm off to a rough start this morning, especially with the freeze and everything going on. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment. And if you're not a member, consider becoming a member. It's only $1.99. Like I said in the first take of this video, we will be doing a special event for members here next week. It will involve someone getting some free silver. We're also going to do an amazing Super Bowl event. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so with that being said, real quick, let's check the price of silver. Silver's sitting at $30.51. I'm going to kind of go through this a little bit quicker. So for those people that think maybe I talk a little slow, it's going to be a little faster today. You guys can see silver's on the move up again. It's continuing to slowly creep up. Gold sitting at $2,726. Again, continuing to go up. Okay, topic of discussion today. Today we're going to talk about More versus Alliance Credit Union. This video was actually recommended that I do this topic by one of the subscribers. Unfortunately, I went back and looked for the name and I could not figure out who it was, so I apologize for not giving you a shout out. Before we even get started on this, I'm going to play you guys a little clip right here because this is extremely important.
Regarding More vs. Alliant Credit Union, to all lawyers, financial institutions, and law enforcement officers, date January 17th, 2025.
Just
on January 14th, 2025, the Supreme Court of the United States issued its landmark decision in More vs. Alliant Credit Union, with Justice Anthony Alito presiding. The ruling declared all forms of fiat currency, money issued without intrinsic value, legally null and void, effective immediately. Additionally, any debts derived from such currency were deemed invalid based on the determination that the foundational practices of modern banking and credit are inherently fraudulent. For full transcripts and additional resources, refer to the official case documents here. More v. Alliant Credit Union resource page, thinkingback.blogspot.com/2251/more v. Alliant Credit Union resource.tml.
Okay, so there you go. So that's the first take. We're going to talk more about this. So basically what happened is somebody was getting foreclosed on. He was unhappy that he was getting foreclosed on and decided to take it to court. He said, the whole system is crooked, corrupt anyway. Here you are charging me higher interest. You're charging this, you're charging that. The money in this country ain't even real anymore. And he put up an argument and went all the way up to the Supreme Court. Now, this is pretty insane because we haven't had a case like this yet. The fact that they didn't keep this low key, I would expect they would have signed non-disclosures. There's been rumors that we know there's been cases of people fighting their taxes But then all of a sudden, hey, I don't want to pay taxes. It goes to court. We don't hear anything about it. However, this right here, I assume what happened before was a non-disclosure came out. They maybe won the case, non-disclosure, and nobody ever hears what happened. This, it's all over the internet. People are talking about this. This is huge. What does this mean? So first of all, the guy fought it on these terms. Basically, he used the 5th Amendment, the 13th Amendment, and the 14th Amendment. Also citing U.S. Constitution Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 states that states are not allowed to coin money and that anything used to pay debts must be gold and silver. So right there, that's fact. I mean, that's law. But it's interesting to see how we have gotten away from that, and who knows? We're going to see how this plays out. Now, I'm assuming, well, he pretty much won. He did win his case. But how is this going to affect debt from here out? I mean, the people own who owns your home really? Usually the bank. Until you pay it back, what was agreed in the contract, until that's paid back, the bank owns the deed. So if all of a sudden all these contracts are null and void because the dollar is null and void, where does that put us? Now, this could cause a huge uproar in the banking, but it's not going to stop there. It's going to go on to credit cards. It's going to go on to all debt as we know it. Now, like I said, there's no telling where this is going to end up. But I was curious. Let's take a look at the 5th, the 13th, and the 14th Amendment, see what they say. The 5th Amendment of the United States Constitution protects citizens from government abuse of power. So right off the bat, obviously, the government says, hey, this is money. It's a sheet of toilet paper. And because the government says it, it is. And that's it. There's nothing we can do about it. Now, some people will barter with silver, gold, Bitcoin, crypto. But at the end of the day, money is what the government says it is, as of right now. And this could be kind of an interesting thing because I'm worried now. Let's hypothetically say that I owned a home and I had a mortgage. Well, if that contract is null and void, what happens to all the paper that I already gave the bank? What happens to the deed to my house? This is stuff that's going to be super interesting how this plays out. Now, I don't know anything on my properties. I've got a few houses. They're paid free and clear. This system has been put in place, I believe, to help the banks. It has been there to build up the banks. The banks corrupted everything, and here it is now. They slid that in, and the average person doesn't even know that gold and silver is money. And so we're going to see. It's going to be interesting. Moving on real quick to the 13th Amendment. This one abolished slavery and involuntary servitude in the United States. So right off the bat, what is this? Slavery is probably a little bit of a push. Although, like I say, it says in the Bible, the debtor is the slave to the lender. Therefore, if you owe someone money, you're essentially the slave. You owe somebody. They pull the strings. So definitely involuntary servitude. That's why I always say you don't want to owe anybody. There's no do your best to get out of debt. I heard one YouTuber, he was spewing this nonsense, I believe, go and charge as much money as you can because they're going to reset the system and you won't have to pay it. Maybe at some point, but until then, you're going to get burned. They're going to bury you. And they're going to take everything, and it's going to be interesting how this all plays out. Moving on, taking a look at the 14th Amendment. 14th Amendment, a little bit of a stretch in my opinion. It guarantees citizenship, equal protection, and due process to all people born or I don't even know how they pronounce that, naturalized in the United States. It was rectified in 1868. So this one, like I said, I don't even see how they would even say this one pertains. I guess due process is the only thing I would take from this. Maybe you have the right to contest that money is toilet paper, essentially. Money is supposed to be gold and silver, but we're using paper now. So it's going to really be interesting how this plays out. Real quick, let's take a look. I will read this a little bit to you. The Supreme Court case Moore versus Alliant Credit Union decided on January 14th to address significant issues concerning the legality of certain financial practices. Justice Samuel Alito delivers his opinion of the court. In the case, the plaintiffs, Zachary and Rachel Moore, challenged the legality of the mortgages, the use of fiat currency, the charging of interest by financial institutions, specifically targeting Alliant Credit Union, although they're all guilty. It doesn't matter who, if they're guilty of this, every bank in the world is guilty. Well, every bank in the United States. But then again, that's us. They argued that these practices are inherently fraudulent and illegal. The Supreme Court ruling declared all forms of fiat currency, money, issued without intrinsic value, gold and silver, legally nil and void, effective immediately. Additionally, the court found mortgages and the charging of interest were illegal practices. Now, this is a landmark decision, and clearly it is, because how is this going to go on down the road with the banking system? This is definitely going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm kind of worried, because we've been told before that you will own nothing and you will be happy. And this is a prime example of a way they could do it. Everybody's, or 95% of the people that are in debt, who holds the titles to all that stuff? The bank. The bank bought it with money. It was accepted. The transaction has already gone through. The bank holds the title until you pay it off. Now all of a sudden you have to pay it off in gold and silver money. A lot of people are going to be losing their stuff. How should this have been done? Maybe if we were still on a gold standard. Charging interest, that's a stretch. There's no law, in my opinion, saying you can't charge interest. Even in the old days, if you wanted to borrow some gold from me, you might have to pay me back 5% gold. They used gold, and that was it, and I'd get my money plus 5%, but in the form of gold. Obviously, you can't use the dollar figures. You're using gold now. In that case, let's say you borrow $100,000. Gold was sitting at $2,000 an ounce. Then you owe us 50 ounces of gold. Now, at that aspect, if the price of gold goes up to $4,000 an ounce, instead of owing 50 ounces, you now owe 25 ounces. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. If this is going to be crazy. It really is. A lot of people don't understand. The fact that they made that ruling is already up in the air of what the heck were they thinking. When I had talked to that branch manager, it was just in awe. And, the take on it was we're obviously moving into a one world order, one world currency, a one world everything. And I believe that. And I've talked to this individual before about religion, about banking, about business, about what's going on in the world. It really shocked that this happened. And we're going to see how it plays out. With that being said, that's why a lot of people stack gold and silver. This is money. It has been money. We're living in an experiment. And eventually this is going to come to an end. And when it does, it's not going to be pretty. It's really not. How long will they kick this can down the road? Could be why government is trying to buy up Greenland. They're trying to buy up Canada, Panama. They're trying to take as much as they can using fiat dollars because they know this system is winding down. We are so far in debt right now, and it's being challenged around the world. I know I was just finished watching the Trump's executive order signing and everything going on, and he actually talked about the BRICS briefly. And it's not gonna. The U.S. is not gonna go down without a fight. And truth be told, we've spent a lot of money, and we have gotten lazy. We don't produce what we used to produce, and it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. With that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up here because the original take on this video was 30 minutes. I think you all got the gist of it. If you want to look that up, I will put the court case number in the link below. And if you use this video or you do a video about this, if you would, give me a shout out. I appreciate it. And thank you to all my members and subscribers. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know. Hopefully y'all see this video, because a lot of you may have already watched the video earlier. When you see it go up, you might be like, I don't know if that's a new one or if that was the same one, and miss it. So hopefully you guys see it. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys again on T-Square Talk. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.